Good morning. It is Thursday, November 5th. I am here in slightly cloudy but still very pleasant Columbus, Ohio for the 2015 American Association of School Librarians Conference. This is my first ever Librarians Conference, so I thought it might be fun to do a little video blog along the way. I did come in a day early. Yesterday I attended a pre-conference workshop on transforming your library community and really making it an outward-facing community program instead of a building that holds books and rules, and that's really it. I thought it was great. I got a lot of good ideas to take back to my school, and I'm really excited to put some of those into action. Today really starts at 12:30 with the first timers orientation, and I will be taking you along for the ride and keeping you posted along the way. So should be a fun day. I just had a delicious breakfast recommended by the hotel concierge at a restaurant called Tossi here in downtown Columbus, and now I have 2 hours to explore before we get things started. So let's see what we can find. I came into North Market for second breakfast, and there were so many amazing things. I have some mental bookmarks of places that I definitely want to come back and eat at. Number one being the pretzel place, and there's also some pretty amazing popcorn down there. But for now, I wound up with a cinnamon sugar donut from Destination Donuts and a chai from Stove's Coffee. So I should be in good shape now to head into the conference. There's so many people here. This is a crowd for the first timer session. I'm so intimidated. So I just finished up with the first timer session. It was really more of just an informal sit down with other librarians at tables around the room. Now we're headed toward the Idea Lab, and I've heard that's one of the coolest things you can see at the conference. So I'm really excited to check that out.
Topics. We have been studying, and the whole purpose of our case. I don't know what it is. What we have done, the latest thing.
I just left the Idea Lab. I thought everything was really cool. My favorite exhibit was a little robot called the Dash Dot that students can use programming apps on the iPad to make it play any song that they want or to write a new song. So that was very cool. I could see that being really neat, especially for coding introduction for lower school students. Really looking forward to learning more, and I will keep you updated. All right, so the first day of AASL 15 is done. We had our grand opening keynote. It's time for the big kickoff session. And then the exhibits opened. I am wiped out. I really loved the grand opening keynote speaker. She said some really powerful things. The parts that resonated most with me were when she asked the question, what year are we preparing our students for? And she posed that she thinks we're preparing most students for the year 1995 or so. And I can see how in a lot of school districts that probably is the case. She also challenged librarians to choose their century, which I thought was a really clever way to put it. I think a lot of people in our industry are really dedicated to an older school way of doing things. And while there is merit to a lot of that classical style, there's also a lot of merit to creating new things for our new learners. And so I left that keynote speech feeling very challenged and inspired to be the teacher that today's students need, the librarian that today's students need. Just really exciting to be thinking this way. The exhibits were bananas. I got a lot of free tote bags from different places and a couple of really cool vendors who I want to check out more. Oh, let me show you one thing that I found. I was really excited to find this magazine. It's called Ceci, and it is for middle and upper school Black girls specifically. The woman who founded it was there with her mom and was talking about how 17 and Teen Vogue just really aren't meeting that specialized need, and Essence magazine is for an older audience. This is really filling a needed void in magazines for young Black girls. So I was really excited to see their booth. Definitely want to look into getting a subscription to that for our school. Was also excited to see some different search tools and image providers, especially. A lot of the projects that I've been doing for middle school classes have been very image heavy or have had some really exciting and interesting image requirements, and it's been a little bit of a challenge to find good solid resources for images for the students to use. So excited to look into those further, and really excited to get started with my sessions tomorrow. For tonight, I ordered my Chinese takeout. It should be at my hotel room in about 20 minutes, and I'm just gonna veg out and finish my book probably. So tomorrow's a new day and I'm really excited. Good night. Good morning. It is about 7:30 on Friday morning. I'm gonna head over and grab a quick breakfast before our opening general session for the day. Alright, so we just finished this morning's general session. We heard from Project Connect, which is a panel of former librarians and school administrators who are trying to help, especially those in public school districts, bridge the gap between administration and librarians, and really communicate better and position librarians as experts in our field and really valuable teammates to our teachers and administration. So I loved hearing what they had to say. I have a little bit of time before my first actual official session of the conference. I picked one on research, so I'm really excited about learning more about how other librarians teach and use that process. I'm at the Makerspace booth and I'm about to makerspace myself some name tag flair with LED lights and batteries and making circuits. Here are my supplies.
The other side.
Well, here's the one that's
So I just made my awesome light up LED name tag at this makerspace. It's so cool. I had to hook up 2 little mini LED lights to a battery and complete my circuit, and then use paper clips to secure the battery and the LED prongs to have a continuous circuit. And now I did it. I made it. How neat is that? Science rules.
Hi.
Alright, so after I made my nifty light up name badge, I also got to make a button with my little read love emojis on it. So far the Makerspace booth is by far my favorite. So many people trying new stuff and working together. Just a lot of fun. Definitely felt comfortable and engaged and just had a blast there. I just finished my first session. It was on guided inquiry design, and it was a teacher and a librarian team who worked together to put together a 6th grade language arts project based on the guided inquiry design, which really gives the students time to explore potential topics and really let their curiosity guide them when it comes to what they actually pick. It also lets their curiosity guide them when it comes to their questions for research and what they want to learn more about. I thought it was really fascinating, and they provided a very thorough supplementary website that I'm really excited to check out and hopefully model some of my projects with middle school classes on in the coming year. I just got out of my second session. It was about collaborating with math teachers in the library. They gave us some really great specific lesson ideas and some different apps and tools to use. So I am now thinking about how I can apply these in my library with the math teachers at my school, and hopefully find new ways to collaborate. Now I need to go find some lunch because I'm starving. All right, I'm back in my hotel room. Lunch was delicious. I found a Chipotle and a parade on the way to lunch. There's a parade going on. So that made my day. I've got about an hour before the next round of sessions start. So I'm trying to decide whether I should go back to the exhibit hall and see some more vendors or whether I should just find some chocolate and relax here for a little bit. Maybe a combination of both. You know, a lot of the vendors actually have chocolate in the exhibit hall. All right, I'm back at the conference center. I did find M&Ms. I will not tell you how much I paid for them because it was too much. My next session is about to start in 10 minutes or so. It is on designing a Genius Hour program for middle school students, a practice that I think was adopted from Google at Google's headquarters. So really excited to hear how we can take this idea and make it fit in a middle school environment. I'll keep you posted. The Genius Hour presentation was great. I really appreciated that she gave really specific examples of different toys and software and programs to put into use. And she really gave a span of budget options too. So some of her favorite things are bottle caps and pipe cleaners, and then there are also the cool expensive robots and toys that some programs will be able to afford. She gave a lot of really great ideas for both putting together the actual Genius Hour programming and then the activities that the students could do once they got there. So overall it was a great session and I really enjoyed it. My next one is on the power of a positive librarian, and I'm really looking forward to that one as well. All right, so I'm back in my room. The final session of the day was great. It was called Yes and the Power of a Positive Librarian, and it left me feeling really inspired and fired up about being a librarian, about finding ways to work with people, about thinking outside the box and finding unusual ways to use our usual tools. I just really enjoyed it. I thought it was a great session. Good morning. It is even earlier this morning than it was yesterday morning. Today our general session starts at 7:30 and it is 7:18 now, so I need to head across the street and into the convention center. Should be a pretty busy day, so let's get it started. All right, so we're inside the conference center. I'm heading down to the general session. This morning is really exciting because we get to hear from Brian Selznick, who is a well-respected YA author. His most recent release is called The Marvels, and it's supposed to be marvelous. So really excited to hear what he has to say this morning.
It's been so long, you never call, you never write.
We just finished the general session where we heard from author Brian Selznick on his own history as a storyteller and author, and also his personal belief in the power of stories. He was phenomenal. His presentation was gorgeous and really thought-provoking, and I think everyone just enjoyed it so much. He is now available for a book signing down in the general area, so everyone's kind of in a mad rush down that way. I don't think I'm going to go try to get a book signed, so I'm going to try to find some coffee instead, but he was just fantastic. I did a little illustrated note-taking that I will add into this video so that you can see it, but really just phenomenal. A great talk from Brian Selznick. I just got back to my room after this morning's session. This morning I heard about Books on Bikes, which is an initiative out of Charlottesville, Virginia, where during the summer they take books to their students, especially in the lower income neighborhoods, on bicycles, and they give them out and read stories to them and just kind of have little bi-weekly library parties in their students' neighborhoods. I was so inspired by this session. I think it's the best idea, and my head is just swimming with ways that we could possibly do something similar in Charlotte and in our community. The other session I went to was on the guided inquiry research process, which was something I heard a little bit about yesterday. Oh, let me show you my notes. It's a really interesting way of looking at research, basically inspiring your students to research their own curiosity and letting their own curiosity drive their research questions. I can see how it would definitely be more interesting for the students and empowering to let them feel like they're kind of driving their own ship instead of just checking off a bunch of questions on a worksheet. I can also see how it would cause some anxiety for the teachers and the students because for the students, because they don't find out what their assignment is right away, and that's always the first question, is what are we working on, what are we going to have to do, and for the teachers, because it is a bigger time investment, and it's also kind of a trust exercise with our students, believing that they will pursue the right questions and really go after that deeper knowledge. But overall, it's a fascinating concept, and I loved learning about it. So now I'm going to grab some lunch and try and pre-pack to see if I'm gonna need to ship anything home to myself. Hopefully I'll have room for my swag and my carry-on bag, but if not, I might be sending a box back to the school full of my different books and tote bags and other library goodies. So yeah, that's the plan. I'll be back in session starting at around 1:30. I just got out of the session on making LGBTQIA+ students feel comfortable in the library. Got some really great ideas on how to identify books in the collection, both physical and online, make resources available, and just generally be an ally in the library. Really excited about what I learned in that session and heading into my next one now. Alright, so I made a quick last minute change from my final session of the day and decided to go to another talk on guided inquiry and inquiry-based learning, mainly because I think it's fascinating. I think it's a really cool way to find a way to really get students engaged in their learning, and I think it's really useful to see how other teachers are doing it. So this was another middle school librarian who was showing us how she structures her projects in different subject areas, and it was just really fascinating. That was my final session at AASL 15. We'll all go now to the general closing assembly, and then there's a party tonight, and then tomorrow morning I will head back to Charlotte. But for today, I'm gonna head to that closing session and then see what else happens. Good morning. It is 5 minutes till 6 o'clock. I'm all packed up and headed out of Columbus. So it's been a blast, and I'm ready to go home. That's a wrap on AASL 15. Bye.